is about. I'm a black man trying not to get caught. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle like a jigsaw. You know it's a big world, so easy to get lost. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle like a jigsaw.
Welcome back, welcome blacks. I guess we are partying. I am Josh Rogers.
I am Bryan here.
And we are your two favorite friendly neighborhood Casanegros back for another episode of the Jigsaw podcast, your favorite podcast where we talk about how we put the pieces together. And the way we do it is examining the perils, the praises, the productivity, the punk circumstances of this thing called life. Bryan.
Yes.
How are you, brother?
It's always a great day to be black, brother.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's a great day to be black.
In the land of the living.
Hallelujah to Jesus.
God
and that you know what? That hits a little bit differently for you these days, doesn't it? In the land of the living.
I thought I was dying.
My God. Another reality, maybe, even.
Another reality.
Maybe, even.
We'll talk about that later. God is so good, though, man.
Ain't he so mindful of us?
He is.
Even mindful
even when we do dumb things.
Yeah.
He still shows up.
We have a guest in the living room on the mic with us
We
today. Not
do.
really a guest.
We do.
He's a recurring name and figure here. I've always ever seen a sitcom? We have a recurring star.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Russell in Living Single. You know what I'm saying? Not quite in the credits, but you very much know who he is. It is our brother. He calls himself a light-skinned honcho. His eyes are actually real. His name is Chris Moore. How are you, brother?
What's going on, y'all?
You doing all right?
Hey, man, I'm great. I'm one to be in the land of the living myself.
Yeah.
What up, Asha?
Yeah. You had a moment too. You know, it's just moments. We all have our moments. We all have our moments, man. So I know we've all just been together, so I won't necessarily ask you how was your week because we spent a lot of that week together. A lot of that week together. But I know, Bryan, you're big on the Olympics. How's that been going for you? You're watching it and
It's been great, bro. It's been on. On time it hasn't been on is when I'm actually needing to do something specifically. Like right now, it's not on in the background.
Sure.
But Simone Biles out there killing it. You know, with the women's Olympics, gymnastics team is killing it.
Doing her thing.
Right, rugby is this is the one time I feel like niggas we don't care about the United States, but when the Olympics hits, it's like we are proud to be
Patriarchs.
Proud to be an American,
Listen,
where at
Captain
least
America.
I know I'm free.
Listen,
Yeah.
Oh, the new Captain America movie got a release date with the black dude.
2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Deadpool Wolverine movie yet?
No, I'm thinking about depending on. So our family will be in Chicago this weekend. So depending on what time some of the Saturday activities end, we might go. We might go see it.
Chris, you don't marvel.
no, I don't marvel. I marvel at Marvel.
Marvel not. That's what the word God says.
That too.
Shondo. I'll be
The old
sinning.
saints took that as the playing marbles
Yeah.
because they couldn't read.
Or comprehend.
They couldn't read that well. But yeah, no, and there's two new Avengers, one in 2025 and 2026.
With Robert Downey Jr.
And he's going to play something. But I heard in the comic book arc, that character takes over Tony Stark's brain or something. So it makes sense.
Yeah. They had to find a way.
Sense.
Because after what's the black man's name?
What black
Jonathan Majors, after he messed up.
Oh.
They had to figure out because he was supposed to be the villain in the next two Avengers movies.
Oh.
Yeah, so they had to figure out. They had to pivot and figure out a way.
Have you seen him dancing?
Yeah, it look like he's trying to step.
Yeah.
Step
And
this
they
way,
said-
and step this way, and step this way.
Yeah, and they put the one of my favorite versions of Not Like Us behind him, the old school version.
Okay.
Have you heard that one yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Bryan, where have you
It's
been? Twin. Oh man, you gotta. Let me see, can I find this real fast on the Tick and the Talks because it's so great.
It's the AI, Not Like Us version?
I don't know if it's AI per se, more or less than somebody did like a old man trying to rap.
Oh, that one.
They have
Yeah.
one with.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay.
They have
Okay.
Not Like Us with bounce music.
I think I've heard that.
That sounds
But
delicious.
just for the people, here we go.
that Austin Walker?
I don't know who the originator is. Honestly, it's Anthony Walker. Okay.
You a rapper, you don't get the snapper. You ain't been through nothing.
Sounds familiar.
Have you ever had to leave the studio?
It's amazing.
As a whole comedian and used to be a youth pastor.
My God.
Outside the One Accord.
Okay. Oh, that's Body. We just having a conversation. Whew.
Who got
the body? Oh, well, all right. I'm excited to jump into this week's living room. So I won't prolong this any longer. Brian,
Yeah.
song of the week.
Song of the week. We're gonna do this.
Okay.
Oh, what?
I'm just, I sit on the edge with my brother because we may go Willie Neal
It's about to be
Johnson.
a gospel song.
No. This
commission.
one.
Okay.
No, it's not a commission. It's in theme. It's in theme. Okay.
Now he didn't even perform that.
He did not.
Oh, that's aggressive.
Would you like to be my sunshine? Nigga, touch my game. We gon' turn it to Columbine. Ice on my neck, cost me 10 times.
How you have a song called Broccoli?
And then perform it at Broccoli City.
I just hit Rodeo and I spent like 10 G's. I just did a show.
Whack
His
intro.
set, what is it, the Concrete Boys?
It was his crew, and I feel like he let them thrive.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's what the goal was.
But like nobody enjoyed them.
No one knew the song.
And
it was
and
just,
as we were walking
tough.
out, was it me? Chris, was it me? Brian, were you with us? I know me and Chris had stepped out. Maybe all three of us had left. No, we didn't leave because this was before me. Maybe me and Chris had stepped out. But at some point, I remember we were walking out, and that man said, "Y'all ain't gonna sit on me like y'all don't know my effing music, like because we don't know it." And the fact that you had to say that lets us low, bro. I don't even know a lot of Yachty songs. The only reason why I know Broccoli is because that song kind of was popular. Yeah. Dram is featured on a lot of Chance the Rapper stuff. Mm-hmm. So he used to pop up on my playlist a lot, and that song is dope. But I don't know a lot of Yachty. But you have literally a song called Broccoli.
Yeah.
And then
what's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
We don't know. Yachty's a better actor than he is rapper.
He has better introductions of himself than he actually has of rapping lyrics.
Yeah, I enjoy him on Grownish and some other stuff he's been in. He's been solid. Him, what's the other dude from LA? Not Vic Mensa. Is it Vic Mensa?
No. Vince Staples.
Vince Staples. Yeah, all of them. Like they're follow Will Smith. Lean into that and just dabble in rap again. He's actually
good at music, though.
I'm not saying but these guys for their art, like their very nuanced level of art, are not bad rappers.
I got you, yeah.
But because Chris, you may also not listen to Will Smith. Don't do that. You may enjoy some of his music.
I had Will 2K.
Okay.
And I can tell you more than 3 songs.
That was an era of your life.
Well, we will say,
but beyond that,
has had some hits.
I'm not saying he had no hits. I got jiggy with it.
He can do
I rolled on to the Wild Wild West too.
Listen, he can do Tiny Desk.
He would get over to Millennium.
I would.
Welcome to Miami.
And just the two of us. Me and my son. My first son was born. I played it too.
Listen, he has about a good solid 10.
Summertime.
Yeah,
but we can argue that Will Smith's career is not anchored by his music.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm getting at. Not that he's bad.
Anchor is Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I mean Queen Latifah, decent rapper, not as big as her music career, but it's her acting that carries her over. Not UNITY.
Yeah, Childish Gambino, same. It's solid musician.
And in his later years, Ice Cube. Ain't nobody going back and listening to that.
Yeah.
As frequently. You, my Brian, you're an anomaly. But ain't nobody going up like, oh, let me hear that Ice Cube. No, let me go see Friday. Any of the ways.
Yeah.
Who was that, Brian? Tell us who it was.
That was Lil Yachty featuring Dram, song called Broccoli. Or was it Dram featuring Lil Yachty?
It's the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, the version I have is Dram featuring Little Yachty.
It's okay. It's still a thing.
Dram has a great song with Erykah Badu, man, called Wi-Fi. That's a good song.
I've never heard it.
Never.
That is news to
You
me.
ever heard it? It's good. Want me to play it for y'all now, or y'all don't care?
You're Mr. Neo Soul.
You can play it. Come on. Is it new Erykah Badu? Because new Erykah Badu is
No, so
weird.
Erykah Badu came out with like a mixtape about like it was like Wi-Fi. Like it was
Maybe
like
put
all
your
about
phone down or
telephone.
something? Maybe
Yeah,
put
put
the
your
phone
phone
down?
down. Yeah. And I think it was on there. Let's see, where is he at? Yeah. And it was actually on his album too.
She's been showing more cakes than she's been releasing music.
It's Dram's song, but she was featured on it.
Do you got Wi-Fi? So I ain't got no signal on my phone.
This is good music when you're driving through the mountains.
It's like good, like chill vibes.
Yeah. It's definitely giving me some lo-fi.
Yeah, but she floats on there. That's good
That
stuff.
sounds like somebody ate a mushroom.
Mhm.
That sounds psychedelic.
I was about to say, it sounds psychedelic. Come on, Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Well, with that being said, understood and accepted, we're going to head on over to the Blessed Report about some Black excellence. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
All right. All right, we're at the Blessed Report. We shout out Black folks doing great Black things. Josh and I don't just celebrate and support Black businesses during Juneteenth and Black History Month. We celebrate Black businesses 24/7, 365. And this week, I'm bringing somebody back, but it makes sense. Again, it's in theme. Take Off Luggage and Stephen Davis in an effort to purchase affordable tickets, right? A lot of the people nowadays are buying the Spirits. They're buying the Frontiers. They're buying the nickel and diming airline tickets, affordable, economical prices. He was doing the same thing, so he figured out that he was trying to find ways to be able to carry the bags and things of the such on the planes. So he created these bags that are lightweight, have removable wheels to make sure they can fit in the compartments the way they need to be. But not only when we first started, we first blessed him up, he only had the bags. Now he has way more items that are available. Travel accessories like bag jackets, basically like a poncho. So like it would have been great if we were at the event this weekend and it started raining. It's like a jacket that comes out of a bag and you can wear it. Vacuum bags to make sure you can put items in your suitcase a little more effectively. Compression bag, packing cubes, slim backpacks, toiletry pouches, shoe bags, cosmetic pouches, and more. So bless up to Stephen Davis and Take Off Luggage, takeoffluggage.com. You can go get some information, get some stuff for your next trip to take out with your friends. So Take Off Luggage, Stephen Davis, and bless up to him.
Bless up to him. All right. Anyone in the rest of the report?
I didn't see anybody that passed away. So what does that mean, Josh?
No, somebody died.
So who died?
Somebody definitely
miss
died.
There was a death on yesterday.
There was a
Yeah.
death yesterday?
I don't know if it was yesterday, but Erica Nash from Survivors Report.
I missed her.
46 years old.
Oh no!
emerging
Yeah,
young
you're right.
actress.
You're right.
Great
said
in her
that to
own
me.
right.
I forgot
And,
about her. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Erica Nash.
It's all right. God rest her soul.
Survivor's Remorse was good.
Survivor Remorse was good, and she was in Real Husbands of Hollywood. I think she was in a couple of other shows. Just great talent.
It's tacky to ask this, but do we know what happened?
I don't know. I haven't seen any reports yet, but I know she was only 46. Young woman. So God did not stay.
He did.
The hand of death. He did not. Oh, and over the break, Congresswoman.
Oh, you're right. The Houston lady. What is her name?
Lee?
Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Oh,
She passed away as well.
I didn't see the people that had passed away.
So rest up,
I thought
the Bible
the
says,
people-
"Let the dead bury the dead," and that's what you did.
Listen.
So rest.
Joe Biden was there.
Joe, rest up to them. And so, if you hadn't noticed, Chris is here not just because we like him and love him, but because he is a critical component to this conversation. So, guys trips, are a thing, and sometimes. Has there ever been a Black movie centered around like a guy's trip? I know we got like Hangover.
Yeah,
for
which
the
is like the
whites.
essential guy strip movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think we had one for the
Only
Blacks.
thing I think of is Million Man March.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
It's not a guy's trip.
know that.
You know, it's called Get on the Bus, right?
Oh,
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
to get on the
Get on the
bus.
bus.
It's called Get
That's
on
a
the
guy
Bus.
trip.
I don't think
It's
it's a
called Get on
guy
the
trip,
Bus.
but
My
it's,
bad.
but it's
I've
it's
seen
Nick-
get on the
it's-
because you said
it-
Million Man. You said Million Man March. I'm like, wait a minute. I read about that. I ain't seen it in
yeah,
theaters.
but it's a guy trip, but it ain't no guy's trip.
Can we
though.
pause real quick? That Chris is he. You know, I'll give my brother his credit that he is culturally astute, in the know. You know, all these things.
Uh-huh.
But this weekend proved that he is a quintessential uncle. I thought that I was entering uncle status. Man, a guy can't pronounce these new artists' names.
I can't pronounce their names.
He can't remember stuff. He getting movie titles messed up. It's just he's leaning into his uncle era, and it's overtaking him, and he don't even know it fully yet.
Listen,
And it's
listen,
beautiful
all
to
good.
watch. It's beautiful to absorb. But no, there aren't any black movies. We got Girls Trip with Queen Latifah and them.
Yeah.
Let me put that out there.
Poetic Justice was a
There ain't no
wasn't it a
guy
guy's
trip. They was in a USPS van driving around California fighting in the mountains. That is not a guy trip. So who are all the people? Who the directors out there? I'm not even gonna call Tyler Perry because we don't want him to direct anything.
We don't want that budget neither. That budget
But all the black people out there who do the black movies get together. Get anybody except Morris Chestnut, okay? And and Tay Diggs, they too old for a guy trip movie.
Yeah, too old.
We don't need
Also, don't put Michael B. Jordan in there either.
You know, because he's not the greatest actor. Love him down.
It needs to
will
be
say he
comedy.
has the acting chops,
We
though.
need comedic genius.
He was in one comedy. What was that movie with the two white boys that he actually did decent in? It was because I go up for rom-com.
Yeah, it was a good movie. That
It was
good
a
movie.
decent movie.
Yeah.
So he might, but this is gonna be centered around all black people. So give me like Jesse T. Usher. Give me what's the dude who the new Denzel who was in Snowfall.
Oh,
You
Idris
think Damson?
Damson. I mean, Damson does a good American accent, and I feel like he would. I don't know that he would be funny, but I feel like he could be a character.
It could be Bradley Cooper.
Go ahead and add. Bradley Cooper's white.
But I'm saying, and we're kind
He
of
could be like the Bradley Cooper.
the Bradley Cooper.
I got you, my bad.
And also, let me do this too. No hate, and I don't care if this goes. I don't care where this goes. Do not put Drewski in it or DC Young Fly. I want real actors.
So who's
Daniel Ezra is free now since he's not going back to All American.
Not him either.
who is the who would be our Zach Galifianakis character? Like who would be?
I know, but I'm saying I don't want that to be Drewski or
That would have to
DC
be
Young
Funny
Fly.
Marco.
I would prefer
Funny
Funny
Marco,
Marco.
would be a good
Funny
one.
Marco.
I prefer
Funny
Funny
Marco would
Marco.
be a good one.
But you
See
know,
what looking at.
but you know who Chris from All American, who I would appreciate to kind of bring like that kind of lame,
Jordan
Oreo
Baker.
kind of thing. The Jordan Baker character, Mike B. I forget his last name.
Michael Evans Bailing, I want to say.
Or something like that, yeah.
I'll mess up your name.
Yeah, I know it's Mike B.
Yeah.
But yeah, them four, I think would be solid.
It
The
would be.
guy trip situation. But anyway, we had our own version. A nice mid-30s, or almost early 40s.
I accept it.
We are where we are in life. But we had a
We done
great
had that
time. And we're going to
conversation.
talk about guys trip. We're going to talk about how trips make it out the group chat. And we're going to share a few little anecdotes that made our trip so memorable and special. So grab your snacks, grab your drinks. I got my Sprite. It's not sponsored by them, but if you would like to sponsor us, we are available and willing and able to do that.
Grab your PTO rings. Grab your Sour
Grab
Patch
those.
Kids.
Grab your Sour Patch Kids. Grab your
Your
Skittles.
Your Dayquil.
Well, all the things that you need to survive and make it through. And join us in the living room. We're going to have this conversation.
It's about to make a change. Do it with some soul in the
All right, good people. We are here in the living room, and you already know what we're about to talk about. So
Yeah.
I'm going to step away for half a second, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Chris, I'm going to throw it to you, brother. Tell us how DC, Broccoli City, for the three of us became a thing.
BC and DC. It became a message in a group chat. I would say it started with Josh. Josh has been wanting to do something. He's been talking about Broccoli City for a minute, at least to me. And then it just came about like, okay, let's get it on the calendar. And we did. It didn't take much. And I know this is for a later conversation, but I believe it just takes that one person to say, all right, let's do it. And then let's get the planning going. And then from there, it can take off.
I would agree. I think so. I met a frat brother I had always heard of Broccoli City, but I met a frat brother through another frat brother at Afrotech. And shout out to my boy Andrew. He works for Broccoli City. Only got to see him once. No issues there. The brother was working. But he was like, man, you got to come through. You got to come through, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? Cool, whatever. It was in the back of my mind. And I think while the original idea may have came for me to go to BC, I think all three of us, I said, hey, we need to do a trip again. Like we need to, I know we had did LA a couple of years back with some other people and stuff like that, but like, let's do this. Then we was like, what would it mean for just the three of us to go? We've never done a guy's trip together, just the original three friends, and things like that. So I was like, hey. So my boy Andrew in that conversation came back to mind. I'm like, it's DC, it's low hanging fruit, it's not gonna be expensive. If we're all free, let's knock it out. And we did it. So we found the Airbnb, we started planning, we did plane tickets and all those different kind of things. And it made it like, I think the smaller the group, I would say, the easier it is to fall out up out of the group chat and become a reality. Because you don't have as many opinions, right?
Exactly.
So
and it also helps that all three of us, for the most part, it's like, okay, we're cool with whatever. It's not a hard conversation.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So, go ahead, Bryan.
No, I was gonna say, I think the thing of like is also I think we've had a conversation regarding like the finances in the PO box before, and people were saying like that was a big thing. I think throughout the process, it was all right, this is what's owed, this is what's necessary. All right, we're gonna shoot it, and there was really no financial like hiccups. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's a big deal. It's like
that's a big deal
where
I know my brothers got money.
Listen, it wasn't no squabbling over about what the money was like. It was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. How much we're gonna pay. Yeah. All right, and we just sent this. I think that was a very important, crucial part of the process.
And it has to be, because again, while I think we probably could have went all out and did something bigger than DC, but it was like, what's quick and what quick? Because we didn't start planning until like what, April-ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. So, about 3 months or so out, give or take. And all of us got crazy schedules. I think the biggest thing was, can we block off the time?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know I travel quite a bit. Bryan travels quite a bit. Chris got multiple projects he's juggling and things going on. So it's like, can we block out the time? And I think that was the first hurdle. So let me just give y'all some tips. First thing is find the trip. I think it's easier. Yeah. I'll say this: it's easier to schedule that stuff around something. So whether that's a holiday, whether that's a big event, we found that in this particular case, it made it easy because Broccoli City gave us the date.
Exactly.
Right. It gave us the date. We didn't have to be like, oh, let's workshop this again. Well, does this day work? All right. And if that didn't work, I don't know where we would have landed. If the 27th and 20, whatever those dates were, didn't work, I don't know where we would have landed. Not to say that we wouldn't have done anything, but I don't know if we would have landed. Then I think you got to consider the dynamics of the group. All of us are married.
Yeah.
We got kids.
Yeah.
We got kids.
We got kids.
That's a line that'll be, we got kids. We got kids. So
what are we doing here?
What are we doing here? We got kids. But I say all that to say, because we're all married, all got full-time jobs. Me and Chris got like part-time jobs as well. And we got kids, right? In that, the summer has also proven to be a better time frame. Because y'all listening to this today, school starts today in most of the Georgia school districts. And I know at least APS and Cobb County one. That's the most important for me. Them no limit soldiers. So the Shock and Master P are going to school tomorrow. And so it's just any other time would have been harder to coordinate leaving the wife at home, trying to, all this, because my kids was in camp and stuff like that. So it was easier to be away because the responsibility of every August through May life wasn't there. So I think understand the dynamics of your group. And if you have single people in your group, that'll probably make it even easier. Not even gonna say easier, but they don't have to consider as much in terms of family.
Right.
Yeah.
The third thing I think Bryan talked about is money. Yeah. Like, is the trip affordable? Yeah. Right? For everybody. And if you can't throw it all at once, can we find space, time, and place to do it? So I don't know that we needed the Broccoli City payment plan, but Broccoli City had a payment plan where you can put so much down And over the course of a couple of months, boom, 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 boom. So even if you got bills coming up, you're saving for a new house, you're saving for a car. It was accessible in those ways. So figure those things out. But that makes also the last thing I'll say, and I'll open it up to y'all to add things I may have missed, is planning. We didn't start planning like April or something like that, but it gave us time though, right? To put money aside, to shop, because I ain't wearing no old outfits. I ain't wearing no old outfits. I ain't wearing no old shoes. I ain't wearing no old jewelry. Right. The only thing I had on repeat was drawers and glasses. Okay. But seriously, but it gave us time to prepare in whatever way we needed to prepare. Right. And still take care of our homes, our families, and do all our other responsibilities. Anything else before we get into some of the anecdotal things of Broccoli City and talk about the festival itself, about how a successful trip can make, especially with men, because they say men are the ones that don't plan and don't do stuff. Right. Now there was some times we were trying to figure out what we was gonna do in DC, but we made it to DC. That's what matters.
We made it there.
That's a whole conversation.
That's a whole conversation. But is there anything else that y'all would suggest as tips to a successful group trip making it happen?
I don't have anything else. I think you covered everything.
I think we did.
I would just emphasize plan. Now that we know what Broccoli City is, we can probably plan a little bit different if we decide to do Broccoli City again next year.
Yeah, so I would say within that, it's like and I don't know if this is not in the notes, but like having come back, debrief, and be like, what worked, what didn't work, like what we do next time. So then for the next trip, if you want to have a next trip, then you can come back and be like, all right, this is what we can do next time, and this is how we can be, a little more efficient with our time, our space, our money, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's an important part.
Absolutely. And I'll even go a little bit further than that with some details. We did a mini debrief on our last day. We were we had an Airbnb, so we went to a hotel and said, hey, we're just checking out. We need to hold our bags. We need somewhere to put these bags, y'all, because that Jamaican lady was kicking us out. That Jamaican lady was kicking us out of their Airbnb. So we had to get out, and we had another day of the festival to enjoy. But I think some takeaways from me, and I'd love to hear y'all. One is to shift, if we do BC again, to make sure we leave Monday morning, because the festival ends on Sunday. And it's always one of those things to where, it's okay, we only gonna miss a couple of artists, but then you get there Sunday and
FOMO.
It wasn't so much. It was FOMO for sure, but it was like, this feels good still. Yeah, like I'm actually still enjoying myself. Like I didn't want to leave. Yeah. So yes, it was FOMO, but it was like I didn't expect me to be enjoying the couple of hours that I was there in the way that I enjoyed it. And maybe it's like the last day hoorah type of situation. And I don't know. And then our pre-festival activities that day were also really good. So it's like, let the vibes carry over. And they started to carry over. I was like, man, we should have stayed till Monday. And I talked to my wife. She was like, bring your hind parts home. So, I honor the woman of God, because I've been on the move. And the other thing is that I know all of us have been to DC before. This was my first time in DC, not for work though. Like I've never been. Well, let me take that back. I've been twice for leisure. One was a family reunion, that don't count. And the other times where it was for work, but not for. So when I worked for a DC consulting firm, they used to fly us in for the holiday party. So it wasn't work, but it also was like we were there specifically for the holiday party. We came right back out. So it's not a whole lot of time to really explore and stuff like that. But this time we got to really just do the landscape of DC. Yeah. And I've always loved DC, but to me, this doubled down on it a lot for me. And seeing where we lived, I think the other takeaway was now we know exactly where to stay. Like we were literally in like a 7 to 10 minute drive, which is dope. But the area where Broccoli City was very walkable, very entertainment heavy, very restaurant heavy. So staying in that epicenter would have saved, because let me tell y'all, them Lyft charges hit my account Monday too.
That's why
they all hit.
It was a lot, bro.
They all hit, and I was like, and they was, and all of them was some of them were like 10, 15, but some of them were surges. They were like 30, 40, 50, sure. And I was like, oh, they hitting, but it's okay. Again, go back to planning. Yeah, they hit Monday, and I still wasn't broke. I still went to the grocery store, bought groceries for my families, all these different types of things. So, what are some debriefing? I'm trying to get all the serious stuff out. What are some debriefing takeaways from this trip specifically that y'all have?
One is going to be location. Staying in a better location. That's number one. Other than that, it's really staying later was the thing. So I think we've been agreeing on that. Staying later, the location. Now that we know, probably do, like planning the locations, like the spots, like the vibes, like like this place was whack this time. Let's go to another place this time. Like, or this place, the park was consistent, right? So that's gonna be if nothing else fails, we know this place is gonna be the spot that's gonna be consistent, right? So,
But will you go?
I will go.
Okay.
I will go.
That's so shady.
I just want to know
No,
because
it's
he
okay.
said it's gonna be consistent, and it was.
It was consistent,
But he has to get there.
okay.
I would say, in addition to location,
I love you, brother.
Being in an area that's close, and it goes to piggyback on location, I need to be somewhere by a Target, because the Target that we went to was extremely hood. Because the first thing that you do when you land to a place,
Gotta go to Walmart, Target, one of them.
Walmart, Target, you gotta rack up on your supplies. You gotta get all the stuff that you didn't get, all the stuff that you need, because of course, bottles of water are a thing. They are efficient. In hotels, they be charging $5 for a water bottle,
And they only put 2 in your room.
Exactly. I feel like they want to charge you for that, but that's all I would say. Just making sure that you're in an area that also has those smaller details, like a Target or a Walmart or CVS or Walgreens even.
I agree with all those things. And the last thing, overall, just Broccoli City Festival experiences, input, thoughts, perspective.
What was interesting to me was I didn't know none of the artists. Like other than like Megan Thee Stallion,
Yeah.
That's one of the only artists like really rocked with. That was on the joint on the stage, and I feel like it's weird because it was an age thing, maybe for me, because I don't, but also like because it was like Sexy Red was on the ticket. Party Next Door, I had never heard of a Party Next Door song. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It might have been like a tasting, but to me, I think it wasn't about the concert. It was about who you were with. So I think sometimes people can hold themselves back, going things and doing things as far as like the trip planning, going back to trip planning.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't want to go there, right? But it's like you're really who you with is more important than the actual the venue, if that makes any sense.
See, y'all, Bryan is the real uncle. I'm the cool uncle. I'm hip.
Bryan is
I know the things.
He's the real
Bryan know the things, but I know the things. Bryan ain't heard of Key
I don't
Glock.
I don't know Key Glock.
The one person name I messed up was K Tronada.
Yeah. What did you say?
I knew Victoria Monet. I know her.
What you call K Tronada, Bryan? I mean, Chris.
K Tronada.
No, it wasn't. It was. You left a few syllables off. I think it was
Trinita or something like that.
I think he said Katandra. I think that's what he said. He said Katandra.
It's like Katandra.
Put it all together.
I was like, woo. That man said Katandra. I said K Tronada.
He said it with
confidence.
Confidence, like it was what it was.
He said, I don't know no Katandra songs. I'm like,
no,
but no.
But it was hella black though. I enjoy it. It was hella black.
Yes,
That's my thing.
Yeah,
and it was black culture, nigga. We had the DJ. We had the freaking electric slide was going hit. Twerking is a part of black culture. It is what it is. It's not salacious. It's not you know. It's not. Some people think twerking is like a hot girl kind of thing. It's part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Africa, like twerking is a thing.
Twerking
you know
started in Africa.
But for real, it's but like
like
legit, like there's like it's a thing. It's part of our culture. So we can see somebody twerking and not be on some like getting bricked up over somebody twerking. It's like girl, get that twerk, get it. Like you know what I'm saying? It's a form of black culture. I think sometimes being in certain settings and environments and looking at certain things which are part of black culture and enjoying the black culture, even if I don't know like the artist that's on the stage or whatever, you can still enjoy the venue and the environment because it's just black. It was just black on black on black.
blackness personified for sure.
Yeah.
And I had heard of every artist. I wasn't a fan of every artist, so I didn't know any K Tronada songs like off top. I think I've heard maybe 1 or 2 Party Next Door songs, but not enough to have like familiarity with them at all.
His band was hitting though.
They killed. I will say that. And I listening to him, I get what the appeal is from that generation.
It was smooth,
but it's not. It still wasn't. It wasn't like so. For example, last summer, that's the song I know. Last summer, I went to a Janelle Monáe listening party. Never been a Janelle Monáe fan. That listening party turned me into a fan. Party Next Door set did not turn me into a fan. It
No.
just gave me a greater appreciation for like, okay, I get it. I don't like Sexy Red as a, I won't say as a human because I don't know her personally. I don't really care for her as an artist. I can never deny the viral ability that she
runs the
possesses.
club. She runs the club.
She runs the venues, the brunches, the places. All of her stuff is catchy. I can't say that I'm going to enjoy her like just on some off rip, but I can't deny who she is and what she means in hip hop and culture.
So to that point, going out, you understand. Like,
I mean, I understand before going out because it's catchy. Like my kids walk around the house to my some bow, 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 bow. But like,
yeah, but for a person like me,
yeah,
I rarely drive anywhere, so I don't listen to the radio.
Okay,
so I don't hear anything current. So if I'm going from here to Brooklyn School, it's like 5 minutes. So I don't really listen to music there. If I listen to music here, it's probably like on my darn what's the thing of the album player. So I don't hear any current music. But then you hear Sexy Red and you hear Glorilla, like people are talking about.
Well, no, I listen to Glorilla.
No, I'm just I'm
I just want to make that clear. Okay, I hear you.
But
I think TikTok helps out a lot too.
Yeah, it's TikTok too. But when you understand what the music is made for, right? When you're playing Sexy Red, it's like, oh, she's for this environment, and
Get it sexy.
It's going
Get it sexy.
up, like, and it's like you to y'all getting me all this time. You can't listen to Erykah Badu in a lounge, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that music is essential to the culture. You know what I'm saying? So for a person who dislikes Sexy Red, it's like, no, this is gonna sound terrible. She's essential to the culture. For that culture.
She's
okay. Her music. No.
She's
no. I
think sound is essential to the culture.
Yeah.
I think it is very much so a part of the culture. Yeah. I think for me saying it's essential to the culture is interesting. I don't disagree totally though.
So let's deal with it though. So we heard 3 songs. We heard Glorilla was number 1. And Sexy Red and Glorilla probably those 2 major artists that were played. And then 1 Kendrick Lamar song. Those are pretty much the only songs we heard for the most part. Over and over. So let's take Essential away. Because essentially, to get rid of Essential, the same sound that Glorilla has is kind of similar to what Sexy Red has. Just a little less raunchy, or I feel like Glorilla is the target version of Sexy Red's Walmart version. Great value.
I think maybe the word essential was throwing me off because when I think of essential, it means the culture can't do without. And I think if Sexy Red didn't exist, the culture
Glorilla would still exist.
The culture, I'm just saying, the culture as we know it, there would be just like remember last summer there was no song of the summer, but like the culture didn't stop. We still had Back That Thing Up, we still had Swag Surf, we still had all the other big songs. I think if there was no Sexy Red, we wouldn't have some of the moments that we have. But I don't know. But just like Black people and Black culture always, we will find something. So there will be Glorilla. There will be the Not Like Us. There will be something. There will be something. There will be something. Now, to that point, though, I think her insertion in the culture has brought a level of vitality and things that has expanded that joy, right? And gives so everything you said, the twerking, the dancing, the whatever that we experience, it gives another layer to it. But I don't know that, to me, the word essential just meant that we needed her, and I don't need Sexy Red, but I do appreciate and honor whatever it is she's contributed.
So a better phrase would say she has her place. Because I think we had a conversation before where I said I hate Sexy Red, and then we were arguing about the fact that her place in her
society place. It's like Dream Center. She's an on ramp.
She has her place in music. Like
she's a bop.
Yeah,
she's a bop. Yeah, babe, I love you. You're my everything.
That's the one I can't get with.
I love it.
Woo!
The Jamie Foxx sample.
I said, "Oh, so bad."
But it's so good.
It's so not. Good. Not that one, bro. Not that one, Chris. I can't get with that one.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Love Megan Thee Stallion down.
Let's talk about this.
wasn't the best concert I've been to. And she wasn't bad. She actually, performance-wise, was great.
She had one of the best performances.
I mean, she was a headliner, so I would hope that she would have. But like her stage presence, the lights, the band, I also love to hear rap behind a live band. I think it just does something.
Yes.
But I also think Megan Thee Stallion, as with any artist, I'm not gonna put this on Megan totally. I think when you really want to enjoy a concert, you need to be either intrigued by music you don't know and artists that you're not as familiar with, or you need to just be a fan, like a big fan. I have to admit that this concert proved that I enjoy Megan. I am a fan of her rap. I am not the biggest fan of her music. I know her hits. And I've listened to some of her albums, but not like a Beyonce, right? I would even say not even like a Nicki. Like there's some deep cuts on Nicki because I've been listening to her since Itty Bitty Piggy. Like I've been in this thing since Beam Me Up Scotty. Like I just know some of her deeper cuts. I don't know that I've taken the same deeper dive with Meg. So when she was doing some older stuff, and so I was just like, ooh, okay, like cool. And by the time she got to her newer stuff, or the stuff that I was more familiar with personally, I was also in a space of kind of like,
what's next?
What's next? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because she didn't even get to all the songs before we dipped out that I probably knew. And she might have been saving those for the last 15, 20 minutes of her set. But at that point, it was almost like not a bad sermon, but a non-engaging sermon. You lost me. So by the time you get to the hoop, I ain't there. I'm already not there. And that was kind of for her. So by the time you got to Cash stuff, by the time you got to like some of the other big songs, I was already kind of tapped out. And I'm tired because I'm 35 years old. So I'm tired. That's a real thing too that I have to admit about me. I'm tired, right? And I hadn't had a nap. I'm sweaty, right? So all these things, and you're not giving me the hits. It's like, okay, girl. But I won't ever say the performance was bad, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Wasn't what I
thought. Big Megan Thee Stallion of Tiny Desk. Her Tiny Desk concert is like awesome to me. But as far as sitting there and watching her perform, I wasn't a huge fan, but like you said, she gave an amazing performance. She can definitely do the things. But I just know where I am. I'm not a Meg Thee Stallion super fan. I just honor her music. I can vibe with some of the songs. I don't even know if she played WAP. She probably played WAP.
I think we heard it when we were walking.
We were walking out. Yeah. I think we heard it. And then Meg, we didn't get the guest from Glow because she was, first of all, Glow was never on schedule to be at Broccoli City. And she was also in Jamaica celebrating her birthday. So any surprise thing, we weren't going to get that. And not to say that Glow would have made it, but I felt like what I think, and this is Meg's first tour, and this is also not a major critique because I'm no artist, so who am I to tell somebody how to do their stuff? But as a listener, what I would have enjoyed, what I enjoy when I go to concerts are artists who open up with a big, like Chance the Rapper opens up with no problems. So immediately, that's the song everybody knows, whether you're a big fan or not, right? You get in, and then he went into a couple of more known, went into some deep cuts, then ended with the other stuff. Like spreading it around keeps me engaged. She went from I think she did a big opener, but she did just a bunch of, she didn't even do a big opener. She did Cobra, which was like the unofficial Nicki diss.
Yeah.
Which is a good song, but it's like,
it's not one to open up with.
Everybody don't know that so like it's a good song. But I feel like Cash stuff would have probably been a dope opener, and you give me those Easter eggs, you would have had me the whole hour. But you lost me. She just lost me. But I saw people in the crowd going crazy, men, women, they dems, everybody going crazy. I saw a bunch of feedback from the people. It's so ironic how many people you end up knowing or are in proximity to, because as I was going through my story, there was a bunch of people I'm connected to via IG that was at Broccoli City. And because I don't know them like on a personal level, we didn't connect or anything like that. But because we are affiliated, I'm like, oh shoot, look at all these people at Broccoli City. But people was going up for Meg, right? So while it wasn't, if it proved anything, I know I wouldn't buy tickets to a Meg Thee Stallion concert. Let me say it that way.
Same.
Yeah, that's probably, but it doesn't stop my support, and it doesn't stop my affinity for her art. I just don't know that I can sit through an hour and some change of her
and that
concert.
should be okay.
Yeah,
there are some people that you can enjoy the radio version of who they are and don't have to go to that concert.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. Who I'm sad I missed though was Janelle Monáe and Key Glock. Not Janelle Monáe, Victoria Monet. Victoria Monet
Yeah.
and Kiki Love. I'm not as deeply intimate with her catalog either on like a super fan level, but from what I understand about her level of performance in art and entertainment, that's what I wanted to see and experience. And she was Sunday night, and we was let me take that back. I might not have been on the plane because I didn't get to Atlanta till like 11 or something p.m. So there's that.
I got home at 2 a.m.
Delays too.
Our flight got delayed to like 9-10 o'clock.
Same. So we might have been at the airport at the same time.
We probably was just on two different sides of the airport.
Yeah. I didn't get home.
Now it was weather. It wasn't. I knew. Now that's Southwest Terminal at DCA. It's ghetto. It's. I've never been on that side before. I've only flown Delta into DCA, and my God, they had us powdering there like sardines. It is literally
It's definitely tight.
A, B, C. It's like right. I mean, they're right beside each other with no gaps. It's like an apartment complex in there. It's like side by side. But it was right. It was like storming real bad in Atlanta, and Ashley confirmed it was storming real bad. And even when we got on the plane, we sat on the runway for another 25 minutes. So it was just like I didn't get to my house till 12:50 a.m. after I got my car and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get to my house 12:50. So
lucky you.
But you had layovers and all kind of stuff too. I can only imagine, bro.
I can't stand no layover.
Oof, I can only imagine. Anything else about Broccoli City? I would agree. What other thing I would say is that the range of blackness was beautiful. We saw from the hipsters to the streetwear to the preppy guy. I mean, all kind of stuff. The super fashion forward, the super fashion minimalist, everybody, the hood dudes, the preppy dudes, the bougie blacks, the ghetto blacks. It was no version of blackness was not represented, and nobody from what I could see was like, oh, that's bad, that's ugly, that's terrible. I know me and Chris had a few moments like, I want to know what was in his brain when he put that outfit together.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a critique of the outfit. It was just like, I don't know that I would ever look at these pieces and say
and put them together.
That goes together. But that's also the beauty of Mr. BDI. That's the beauty of diversity, right? Like we can show up in so many ways and still exist in this one common space. So I love that outside of what you talked about, Bryan, with culture. I love the fact that we see it was a continued display that blackness is not a monolith. Yeah. And I don't know that we always have. I think we have those spaces, but I've never been in them. It's outside of like a homecoming. And even in homecoming, the thing that binds us is Morehouse and Spelman. But this was from so many different walks of life. And I rarely saw white people.
Yeah. I saw 10.
You say you saw 10?
Out of both days.
Yeah, I would say maybe.
Name one.
I about to say maybe, yeah.
And when I did that the DJ did the little playing the white people songs. Yeah, they had to show them on the screen.
They showed a couple of white people on the screen.
I'll show the versatility of black people, man. Like we know everything.
We went up for the white songs because we appreciate a white song.
We do. Like
if only they appreciated us.
And that's what I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something with Bryan. That's when Bryan was the most lit. When them white songs came on,
they played
that he turned into a California Valley boy. He was a Beastie Boy.
One thing I will say about Broccoli City though, I enjoyed their layout. If you saw the set times, they had 2 stages, and we're like, how are you gonna have 2 stages?
Follow those set times though.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were.
That was black. That thing was late.
That was CP time for sure. But then also they had an area for beatbox. Beatbox. If you're out there, you can sponsor the Jigsaw podcast. You can shoot them an email, DM them. They would love to have you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they had an area where it was basically like a day party, and it caused a good break because if you didn't want to hear the known artists or that particular artist that was on the main stage, and you definitely don't know who's on that smaller stage, just go to the little beatbox and
it was culture. We was electric sliding and hearing all the classics and the hits, and then there were vendor spaces, so you could buy, you could shop. It was like I was interested of how it was going to be in a. You said Chris, you said it was a soccer field, right?
Yeah,
I was super interested in how they was going to come, but they converted that area pretty nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only thing I would have wanted more of is to have a more festival feel in terms of like the actual. It felt more concerty because we were in seats, and I appreciate that because of this big 35 age. But there's a part of me that would have longed for like standing, like one music fest in Atlanta, like being in Piedmont Park and like a festival. So I don't know. I think it was a nice
Now
hybrid.
hold on, I'm gonna push back on you.
Push
on that
back
one,
on
Josh
it.
Roberts,
Yeah.
because you're the one that complained about PJ Morton having a standing room only concert.
Yeah,
But now
absolutely.
you okay with standing up?
See, but here's I think context is key for me
Okay.
here. When I think of a traditional concert, I expect to sit down. I think that's the thing, right? When you tell me I'm going like to the Atlanta Jazz Fest, I bring my little chair. I know ain't no chairs out there, right? So
Right.
I'm prepared to stand or I'm gonna sit in the chair. So for me, it's a hybrid. Like I appreciated our seat. Don't get me wrong. I don't want that to be
Yeah.
lost. So I concede to that point. Yes, I don't want to stand up all day, but I think it's something special about a festival that allows just space to stand and exist. And what I appreciated was the hybrid version of it, because we had those spaces, like you said, the smaller stage and the beatbox area. But I wonder what it would have been if it was like legit Coachella-esque, right? And just straight up festival. I wonder what dynamic that would have added to BC versus being in the stadium. But I'm not gonna complain because I like my seat.
I was about to say you would
I
have
ain't
been
gonna
aggravated.
complain. I ain't gonna like my seat. Oh, brother, we would have been picking up a foldable chair at the Target. I would and donated it to somebody because I know I can't put that back on the plane, brother. But Josh Bravo gonna be in them Jordan 1s. Them Jordan 1s are only comfortable for a while. Okay.
Those are sneaker red bottoms.
That is it. So anything else about Broccoli City? Good, bad, indifferent?
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Music Fest is something that I want to do yearly. And even if it ain't Broccoli City, maybe it's Coachella, maybe it's Roots Picnic, maybe it's one Music Fest don't count because we live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I think it was dope. And I think going back to the age thing, I think we're in a sweet spot. I feel like there are probably more people our age than we probably knew. Black people age so well.
Yeah.
That there was a few times, I guess I would say, God forgive me. Somebody asked me my age. I said, how old you think I am? And they'd be like, about 28. I said, there you go. I just let them roll with it. So I feel like there are probably more people close to our age than we probably thought, or we blended in so well.
Yeah.
That it didn't. I didn't feel like, I know I'm entering my uncle era. I didn't feel like an uncle. Like I'd be like, ooh, these are young whippersnappers. I didn't feel that
No.
until my knees started hurting, but I didn't express that loudly. But
I ain't saying it out loud.
I ain't saying it out loud because, brother, well, when we had to walk to get to that Uber the first night of the festival, bro, we walked miles. I felt like
We did walk.
and I was tired. When we finally found a spot, I sat on the curb. I felt like the Popeye's chicken lady. Remember, I was tired.
I do remember that.
I was tired. So now that we got that out the way, the brotherhood, the stories, the events. What's your most memorable moment, Chris? Bryan?
The moments I didn't remember. That's
my
the most
God.
the memorable moments were the moments I didn't remember.
Also Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, that was Saturday.
That was Saturday.
No, that was Friday.
Was it Friday? Oh, that was
It was
Friday.
It was
That
Friday.
was Friday.
Yeah. It was Friday.
Days are
because
getting
we were
mixed up.
supposed to
All right, so
be
let's just go through. Let's go through the week.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Me and Bryan spent a whole conference call in the airport waiting on Chris to arrive because he was.
We did.
He was. Southwest had him. First of all, Southwest had to stop and get some more gas.
They went past DC to go to Baltimore to go get gas, only to come back to DC.
Yeah.
And it took them an hour some
Ridiculous.
change to get from Baltimore to DC in a plane
Listen,
Man,
and it's an hour
we
and
were
some
just
change to get there,
sitting-
and
via a car. It's an hour and 5 minutes, no traffic via car. Well, with traffic because I googled it in the moment.
yeah,
that sounds about right.
So with traffic, it's an hour and 5 minutes from airport to airport, and it took them over an hour to get there via plane.
Yeah.
So that's how the trip started. But it
That's
actually worked out because we didn't have nowhere to put our bags, and the people was only giving us an hour early to drop them off. So we were in good check-in time. But what did we do Thursday evening? I mean, we went to the Target.
We went to
That was Thursday?
before we went there. We went to Pink Taco.
We went to
we
Pink
did go to
Taco.
Pink Taco and got some food.
And where
So we went.
heaven
We
charged me.
surveyed the land. We surveyed the area,
Yeah,
which is
dropped our
which
bags
is nearby the place. We dropped the bags off. Then we went to the Pink Taco because we were all hungry. We looked around.
Great black tacos.
Can you tell the people where the Black Taco is?
Lettuce, tomato, ground beef, cheese on a hard shell.
Yeah,
I don't
which
know
I feel like
nothing
I should have
about that.
ordered. I ordered fancy tacos, and I lamented that.
I got an African American taco, and it was so good. It was actually really good.
Give me a shrimp taco.
It looked good.
It was good.
But the shrimp taco was good, but it was just like I could have. So I ordered 2 types of tacos: the fish tacos and the shrimp tacos. The shrimp tacos hit. The fish tacos I could have did without. But like looking at Josh's like nigga taco or black person taco, I would have preferred to just have that. Don't sour cream in that thing real quick, and we could have went there.
It was a great black taco.
It looked good.
It was.
Bless your heart. I can't do no corn chip, no corn.
But it didn't look corn. It didn't look. What kind of shell? It was a corn shell. Like what kind of?
It was the whatever the hard shells are made out of.
But it didn't look hard. It looked weird. Like
it was a hard shell taco because I don't like soft shell tacos.
Oh, I like soft.
The texture of that is weird.
But it didn't look like it was crunching. It looked like
it was crunching. Trust me, I wouldn't have eaten it. Okay. I'm telling you, as a quintessential nigga taco lover, that it had all. It was a Taco Bell taco, okay? Because it was called the Bell Taco. Let's start there. It was called the Bell Taco.
I will say one thing that was cool was when the check came, we weren't like, well, I only had a water. I only had some lemon. We didn't have to have that enjoy the lunch moment.
We didn't have that enjoy the lunch
now,
moment.
there was someone who was charged
Let me tell you about this ticket, which made for the rest of the trip. I ain't split nothing else down the middle. You give me what I paid for, what he paid for, because we said we were gonna split it down the middle. And to Chris's point, Kristen ordered a little bit more than everybody did his thing, but we weren't on that vibe. We was like, just split it down the middle. There's 3 of us, we brothers, we fine. We're gonna have more moments like this. Everybody get their check. Bryan's is $47.50. Chris's is $47.50. Mine say $143.47. And I said, wait a minute, baby, that's the total amount. And I didn't get I'm looking for my $47.50 under it or something. And then little mama, who was a great waitress up until that point, had disappeared, ghosted, gone. And once we find her, she talking about oh no, before I close out the night, I'ma fix it. There's no way, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, girl, you didn't charge me $143.
Because here's the thing, it's Thursday, tomorrow Friday. So them business hours kick in with these banks.
Exactly. Yeah. So I didn't get my money till yesterday. So she probably did it, but them 3 to 5 business days kicked in. And again, thank God for not being a broke boy, because that didn't kill me. But it's the fact of the matter of like, I wasn't planning on spending $150 in the first hour on a taco.
Not on day one.
Yeah, not on day one. On the first meal. Like
that goes to a point though. Don't go on a trip if you ain't got no money, right?
That's the other part.
Imagine if you would have went on the trip
and I was
didn't
broke.
have no money and you was broke, and they would have accidentally charged you. They did that.
And I only had a $200 budget, and they charged me $150. I got $50 left
on day one, and now you can't enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ordering water or salads, or you trying to share food with other people. Like, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that was shade.
No, it is, because if we fast forward to go backward, Sunday we did an $80 brunch. And what I think it was worth the $80 for the experience that we had and everything that came with it. But to your point, Bryan, like I would have been up the creek. What I'm gonna
do? Yeah.
Been calling people trying to borrow some money. Been texting y'all privately. Hey, can I get like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't be that. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
Be able to pay for your trip, and then once you get there, also be able to enjoy your trip.
Right. But also, let's take a step further. If you go on a trip with somebody, like this may not be a good tip, but something may happen.
Oh, yeah.
You may have to like take care of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody might lose their wallet. Somebody might, you know what I'm saying? Things could happen.
For sure.
So you might also be able to make sure you can pay for yourself, but also cover a
It depends on the person.
Two.
I ain't doing that. I'm gonna cover.
No, but so I'm going with y'all too. I'm going with y'all too, right?
Okay,
I'm going with y'all too. Okay. So if I'm going with y'all too, what if you lost your debit card, right? Like I feel like you should not only have enough for you, but just have some emergency.
Because I know what Bryan is, I do have enough money for bail money in case it's ever needed.
Oh yeah, I'm a nigga.
Oh yeah, like now for y'all 3, I'm gonna cover. I mean, because I think one meal we ate, Chris covered the meal.
He did. Yeah.
right? And we didn't even know. But then I think there were other times where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna order this," and I just paid for it. I think Chris was trying to order something when we went out, and he was like, he tried to hand me.
of my heart.
I understand.
I was trying to get out of there.
I know we were trying to get out of there, but my point was that it was just done, and it wasn't a thought. I guess is my point. There was a moment where me and Chris went out because Bryan needed to rest, and we had went out, and he was trying to order something. He gave me his card, but I had already swiped mine. Right. So it's just like, so those moments among brothers and friends, I even learned that in the frat, like we don't keep score. We don't keep tabs because we're friends and we family. What I was about to allude to was the moments where people come on their broke and then expect you to cover them. No, you can struggle.
No, you should struggle.
With me.
A lesson needs to be learned. A lesson needs to be learned.
Absolutely. Now, I might end up covering a salad or something at some point because I want you to be hungry. But you ain't finna enjoy yourself.
Did you just say I'll cover a salad in case you're hungry?
Yeah, like because so here's the thing. First of all, you wouldn't have went to the $80 brunch because you can't afford it. But what I might do is cash app you $20 real quick. Be like, I think there's a few restaurants down there that you get yourself. Because I'm not finna cover you $80 to eat, and you broke, and you knew you was broke. But because I am of a kind heart, I'm not gonna let you be hungry.
And those would have been the people too that would have been, you would have paid for the $80 and they'd have been acting like they paid for it, and they would have been all on the table doing all the things,
doing the most.
Extras.
And they've been like, no, we're not gonna do that. So you finna get your $20 and find someone around the corner. In fact, and we'll tell you when we're done. Because again, to Brian's point, you need to be able to lesson learn. Also to the point, I don't mind covering my friend, but if you lose your debit card, I would hope in this world of technology that you have Apple Pay. Yeah. You have Zelle. You have something to where you can survive. And if I need to help you in the meantime, great. But don't depend on me when you still have access to your money, though. Because to me, that's manipulation. Yeah. But I also don't mind covering you in emergencies. But if you got access, because like me, if I lost my whole wallet, like of course Bank of America will shut my cards down. But I can still Zelle you some money. Yeah. I can cash app you some money. Like we gonna be straight. Like you know what I'm saying. I ain't finna let you just cover me until we get to May because I'm in a bind when I know I got access to all the money that I have. Yeah. But yeah. So Thursday, Pink Taco. And then we left Pink Taco and went to the Target.
Yeah,
we did.
To the hood. It was that had everything locked up.
Everything was locked up. Except for the contraceptives.
Not only that, the more expensive stuff wasn't locked up. So if you're into facial care, CeraVe is a brand, but also is like Le Roche or something, much more expensive. That's all open and out. That CeraVe was locked up. They said the niggas don't know what this is, so they're not gonna steal that, but they're gonna steal that CeraVe. And all the condoms was out too, which is probably a good thing because people need to be safe and responsible.
The fact that facial lotion and cleanser is locked
body
up.
wash,
bro, soap. Josh had to ask somebody to open a thing for some just bars of soap.
And a loofah. A $3.98 3-pack of Dial.
Draws locked up. Everything was locked up.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was a Target. And we low-key stayed in the hood too. We was in the hood. We was hood adjacent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The townhome we were in was cool, but it was very much hood adjacent. But we got back to the townhome. Mm-hmm. We showered, we changed clothes, and we went to Park. Yeah. Great venue, multi-level, layered restaurant / lounge space.
It's great like 4 parties all in one.
Great time, great vibes.
Yeah.
And great time. Thursday night ended. Got back in. I know we all got up late on Friday. It was probably like the afternoon before we even started getting ready. And what did we eat on Friday?
We were supposed to go to brunch at
we were supposed to go
Dirty
to
Habits or something.
Yeah,
but they were closed. And we ended up in this burger place.
Yeah, Eat Burgers.
That's Eat Burgers.
Great hamburger.
Yeah. Great burgers.
Great hamburger.
Let me tell you one thing about DC. Those mosquitoes are ruthless.
Yes, everywhere.
I'm still itching.
Same.
Man.
I ain't never got tore up like that before.
Yeah, they were indoor, outdoor. They were everywhere.
Yeah, it was terrible. But then after that, we decided to do a little shopping. Picked up some snacks.
We did get some snacks.
Some snacks that were
snacks for the house and stuff.
Yeah, snacks for the house. Edible snacks.
And then we went to we went back to Park
We
because the
did.
intent was to go to Park, and it was an official Broccoli City event,
Yes.
and to go there and then end up, I think, the intent was to go there, have a good time, go back home, change clothes, and then do the second half of the evening. But we got stuck at Park. It was such a great time.
Because Park, the event was supposed to be from like 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Our idea was we'll get there about 5:15, which we did. The plan was to leave at like 6:30, go back to the crib, and then come back out. And next thing I know, we're going to the. Next thing I know, we're just like there.
We're there.
Just not moving.
Not
We just
moving.
there.
Well, things were moving, but more
Things
in
were
a
moving.
like, not in
It
the
was a-
direction in which I think we wanted them to go in.
Didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. Didn't expect
Yeah.
it.
Didn't expect it.
Didn't
I think
expect it
going
at
to
all.
Park was a terrible idea.
I think whatever Bryan ate was a terrible idea.
What I ate was
Yeah.
a terrible idea. So so I had a cold. So I had to some
Medicated.
Dayquil. I was heavily medicated.
Mm-hmm.
Then I ate something that
Just conflicted with the medication. Yeah.
conflicted with the medication.
Man, you was up
And-
there
It was like it was
uh,
real life, but it didn't feel real.
It didn't
You
feel
was,
real.
you was
know-
like genuine on that performance with TGG.
And then
It was not fun
it was
in the
not
least bit.
in the least bit.
You were standing there, with your beard.
Oh,
It was a bad idea. It's like, I don't know that it
kept
felt
getting
good
worse.
at all.
It just
know?
kept getting worse.
We It was almost like you sat on a green fire hydrant. It was not a good idea.
Nigga, I was dying, bro. Like I find myself
My man's got sick. He got sick.
got sick.
Yeah.
I'm throwing up in a trash can. Throwing up in a trash can. Going in and out of like reality. Don't know where I am. Niggas is outside like, you okay, bro? Like, you okay? Like, people give me water. It was a crazy situation. Chris is just rubbing my back like, it's all right, brother. It's all right.
Like, he was having a
Because I know my
fit.
brother. My brother's he's just gonna be like in this mood, like I can't believe this is happening. He's gonna feel like low key embarrassed.
Oh, yeah,
and I wanted him to not feel embarrassed because
Yeah.
it's happened to everyone.
Yeah, I was
You were just sick.
Yeah.
You was basically puking out your virus or
Yeah.
whatever sickness you was dealing with.
And once I puked, I felt much better. But it was the fact of like, I was outside of a restaurant, a really nice, classy establishment. Both hands on a trash can,
Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees.
throwing up. And it got so
Can
bad.
we pause and an unhoused woman came by
I was about to say it got that bad.
looking for food. And it
is
seemed
what
like that
Chris
was
Moore
her
lost.
typical food places. But as she was digging through with her stick, she had to go past all the vomit
Yeah.
that Bryan had disposed of. And she
It was-
looked and she left there hungry. And Bryan said, it just keeps getting worse. Because he now took away that homeless woman's meal.
I did. I felt so bad. I felt so terrible. I felt bad. I'm throwing the
Bad.
food and she's looking for it.
And you threw up on her potential food.
I did. It was like Chick-fil-A
My
bags and everything in there
God.
too. She was probably.
Oh my god, she was about to have a buffet.
You
I
ruined
was tore up.
My God.
Good
Great
time,
times.
though. Great time.
But we took care of you.
There's a story to
got you.
tell.
We got you in. And then by that point, so here's the thing. At Park, we had already established, all right, we're going to go to this other establishment later on tonight. And it was a $40 ticket. And
We had already paid for said $40
We had
ticket.
already paid for that ticket. And
Another official Broccoli City event.
another official Broccoli City event. So once we got Bryan in, that's when our age kicked in. It was like, okay,
We took a nap.
It's,
We were gonna take a
it's
quick
nap time. And mind you, it's like 7, 8 o'clock, about 8. Next thing I know, I wake up, it's 11. It's like 10. Josh texts me and like, you up? I'm like, yeah, I'm up. He comes down. Uh, comes down to the living room, talk to me. I say, hey man, I paid $40 for this ticket. I'm going
I
to
sure
this
did.
event.
I sure did.
I got some events to get off. I got some outfits to get off. So the plan was, all right, we'll leave at 11.
Because we were supposed to be
11
get up,
o'clock
go ahead
rolls
and get
around.
dressed. Mm-hmm.
11 o'clock rolls around. I said, we ain't left. Me and Josh, we just made the plan. Go ahead, get ready. We got out. Went to the place. Went to the event. It was cool. Very crowded. Very packed in. It was about to be a couple of fights in there, which was hilarious. It definitely showed the age gap. Dope event. We definitely got our fits off that night. I was given Miami Poppy. Josh tapped into his younger side.
I was definitely giving current streetwear. I had on my cargo pants, a floral. I don't want to call it crop top because my mama listening. I want to think she'll think my belly was out, but it was cropped in the sense that it was waist length.
Yeah.
But I was definitely giving that, and it was,
It was a good time, man.
that was not a
It was
day I
good.
didn't get compliments on all of my fits. Let me just say that mission
Okay.
was accomplished.
Mission was accomplished. We got back in that night, checked on our brother. He was in the upper room. He was meeting Jesus.
He was
Listen.
almost smiling from the banister of heaven, like a little
Schoolgirl.
We did. We said
That's the
hello
last
to
thing I
the
remember.
Oh,
Good times. But then Saturday came around.
yeah.
Our boy was back.
Who is back?
He was ready. He was a toned down version. He wasn't gonna be for the things no more. But he got back in action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Saturday was cool. That was the first official day of the festival.
Yeah.
Walked around, saw the landscape, did all the things. It was cool. And then Saturday evening, that's when my uncle kicked in the most. And I'll admit,
Hold on. What
Yes.
day did we end up in the gay bar?
it wasn't a gay bar. Let's be clear. It was an event that was hosted by, I think, a gay host. So here's the thing. This is one of the lesson learned as well. When big events are in cities, people take advantage of them, right? So, i.e. Afrotech. People thought it was a party conference, but it's like, no, all these blacks are here. All the promoters did their thing. Same thing with Broccoli City. Like there were official Broccoli City events, and there were things where people calling Broccoli City events that weren't official. Chris found something that was like, hey, it's free entry.
Yeah.
Let's go, right? So we was like, okay, cool.
Let's
And
do it.
this was another event space that was 3 floors, and like the park, each floor typically has a curated experience. And it seems as if the host of this event didn't detail what the event was. It was just free. Because there was a lot of people going there.
Yeah, there was a lot of people going there.
So we went, and I'm talking about men, women, straight, queer,
Everybody.
identities, right? Just going. Because again, we're in the city, we're having fun, we're enjoying blackness, enjoying culture, whatever. Joy, black joy. We get to the 3rd floor, and it's like almost immediate. You're like, oh,
Okay.
No.
See,
And we leave.
I'm from Atlanta though, so it's like seeing that kind of thing. I'm used to it, so I'm like, this ain't what that is. It's just a bunch of the same.
The reason why I was the perfect middle ground between Chris and Bryan, because Bryan, I'm gonna just talk about my brother. Bryan immediately was like, no, and he was gone.
No, don't
Down
make
to-
me sound
Bryan?
like that. Don't make me sound like that.
Bryan,
No, hold on. Don't make me sound like that. Don't make me sound like that. I looked at it, I was like, oh.
Bryan, no, your response,
that man marched down.
bro. You was down them steps, bro. You was gone.
Don't make me sound like that. So
I'm not making it sound like anything.
No. I did turn around because I was like, oh, we must not be in the right place.
See,
Okay.
and that's why you're the perfect middle person, Josh, because Chris
Because
Moore
Chris was
thinking,
like, oh, this is whatever. And I said, Chris, I don't think this is what. I said, Bryan is
it's
already
gonna
down the
change.
stairs.
It's gonna flip.
And I said, I don't think it's gonna flip, bro. I don't think it's gonna flip. Because again, yes, we're from Atlanta, and DC even has a pretty robust LGBTQ plus population. So it wasn't like out of context for them to be at an event at night. But I could be like, it was 90% of the room, and I was like, I don't think that this is us. So we all go down and we go to, I think Bryan had to use the restroom. So we go toward the hallway and Chris was like, well, let's just see if it flips. I said, hey, I'm not, because I work in DEI and stuff and I'm confident in who I am. I'm not necessarily wanting to stay because this is not my vibe, but I'm also not 100% uncomfortable, but I also don't want to stay because I'm not optimistic that what we think is going to change is going to change.
And here's a little bit more context.
Yeah.
You also have to know your friends, because I am the friend that at that point, because of all the things.
At this point, Chris was just ready to like take advantage of the evil.
I was ready to party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, I was ready to party at this point. And in my optimism, Josh was like, yeah, bro, this ain't the spot. So now I'm like, well, we got to go find another spot.
And I will say, out of a small sense of desperation, we found a spot. Because Chris was like, I'm going to follow you. I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, I don't really know where I'm going. I'm familiar with U Street, and U Street is kind of like a Beale Street, right? And not Beale Street in terms of like blues, but Beale Street in terms of it's a lot of entertainment hubs and spaces. You can just walk into a spot and likely land on something. So that's what we're doing. And Chris was like, ooh, over there, because there was a line emerging. And in most places, when a line is forming, but in this place, I think they were curating an outside perspective that didn't follow inside. Now, mind you, let me give you some context about me. And I'll admit, when my old man came in and my moodiness kicked in as well, because I know me. If I'm nothing, I'm self-aware. And I had told Chris, I want to go home because I need to shower. Anybody know I'm quite prim and proper on my hygiene. The main reason I was even buying Dial soap is because I do an antibacterial wash on my body first before I do my body wash. It's just who I am. People call it, oh, did my dad even tell me, son, you do too much? I don't care. I am who I am. So I agreed to stay with the group because we're in a space where we don't know anybody.
I appreciate that.
I knew the kind of time Chris was on. So I don't know if he was going to respond to my text. He probably wasn't able to answer my call. I don't know where y'all going to be. And if I had gotten even a hair bit more frustrated, I was going to cuddle up in my bed and go to sleep. So I was like, you know what? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay with the group. I'm going to stay. We're going to be cool. And then we got into the spot and we had paid to get in to a spot that should have been free.
It should have been.
It was really small. It was tight.
Setup was terrible. It was like a restaurant.
I got overcharged from some wings and a beverage. I paid $42 for 12 wings and a beverage.
I paid $30 for a drink.
It was just so at this point and the DJ was, what did Khadijah say when they went out? The drinks are watered down. The DJ is whack. That's what I felt. and I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. But my friend Chris, the light scale, the alter ego had kicked in.
Having a ball.
And I mean, by himself.
Listen.
By him dancing with air. And ultimately, I'm actually not offended. I'm not frustrated at that. I'm frustrated at all the things that has led up to this moment. And all the other things. So then Chris meets a friend. And because they've curated this perspective on the outside, they've opened up the upstairs. We're like, okay, well, maybe upstairs is much more, have more room. We can sit down. But no. It was literally a floor plan of the same. So I get up there, and without Chris or Bryan knowing, I have called a Lyft. And I did the wait and save because I said, I'm going to give them 25 minutes. And when this Lyft arrives, my thing is say, hey, bros, love y'all. I'm about to head out. If y'all want to, you can ride with me. If not, it's cool. Just let me know when y'all make it in. I wait 25 full minutes standing in my Jordan 1s in this outfit I wanted to change out of and this sweat that was sticking to me. And that man canceled my ride after 25 minutes of waiting.
38 hot.
I said, oh no. I went into Uber. The closest car was an Uber Black. I paid $64 because I was that ready to go. Like, I'm the friend when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Right. And I don't want to be a word, right? I'm not a vibe killer. So I'm going to remove myself. And I'm not mad at nobody. Like, I had no beef with Chris, Bryan, nobody. I'm just like, all these circumstances put together, it's time for me to exit. So I got in the car and I told Bryan, I'm finna go. And Bryan followed me. And then Bryan was like, He's ready to go too. I feel like I was his perfect escape. He was ready to go. And Bryan says, Chris said, you can go ahead and leave without him. I said, I was doing that anyway. I said, Chris had 2 minutes before this Uber came. I'm gonna be a good friend, be like, what's going on? You good? So we made sure he was good, but we left. And that's how I left Saturday. Got into bed, went to sleep.
Yeah, same.
And I woke up Sunday. Like straight, I was good. Like again, I wasn't mad at nobody. As you people are listening to this story, but I needed to reset, and I reset.
And then Sunday rolled around,
and it was
here
great.
We are.
Good day.
It was good. You were great. And y'all already heard to say that we had a little FOMO about leaving early. I was the one. I had the earliest flight, and but Bryan and Chris were nice enough to walk with me to get my bags. Bryan ended up leaving with me because his flight was only like an hour later. Yeah. So in his brain, it was like, it only makes sense. Chris thought he was going to stay a little bit longer because he was like, his flight was at 9. But then I'm sitting in the ghetto of Southwest, and all of a sudden, I'm like, is that Chris? So he ends up coming to the airport as well. And my flight gets delayed. So we end up talking and chilling and laughing and whatever. And it turns into a great time. It was a great trip. As much as we learned from it, I wouldn't change anything about it.
No,
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't change anything about
it. Even though,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Even though I'm upset that I missed like a whole day because I got sick, which then affected my missing out on an amazing brunch the next day. That's what I would change. I would change my I don't want to say self-consciousness. My I don't know what the word is, but I missed out on a great experience because I was tripping about the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you were just overthinking.
Yeah, completely overthinking.
I didn't. Yeah, I did. I was so down on myself that I missed out on an amazing experience the next day.
Yeah, I would change that too. Yeah. Only because I felt like while we had a great time, as we see on the end of this podcast, we had a great time without you. Mm-hmm. We would have had an even better time with you. And it's true because I'm not going to deny the fact that we had a great time, but I also know you being added to the space because it was a trip for all three of us would have just likely enhanced the vibes. And I wish you would have gotten out of your head.
Yeah, I was definitely in my head
more. I will say this though. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say it for the greater conversation because I have an art with you about that.
Okay.
No, I'll say it here since we're on the podcast. Since we're in this moment. Me and Chris wasn't enough to get you to change your mind. But when you found out some of the additional variables, that was enough to get you to change your mind. So I'm just going to leave it at that because, he's been on this show saying, these are my best friends. These are my best friends. My best friends. And we weren't enough though. But it was right.
That was wrong.
That was happening? I would have came then. No thought.
That was wrong.
But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Eat your Cheesecake Factory. Eat your brown bread.
I got a salad. And
we had greens, macaroni and cheese, salmon, jerk wings, eggs, grits, fruit.
They gave us the works.
And they said, y'all still hungry? Because we can bring out another plate.
Yeah, I felt terrible about that. So
that's why I thought the $80. And it was like unlimited beverages. I think
I apologize for that. I felt bad.
No love lost. You live and you learn. It was,
and the good thing is, as friends, like y'all know me, and y'all know like I'm like hella hard on myself. You know what I'm saying? And like if I feel like I was embarrassed or whatever, then so y'all understood my quirky.
And here's the thing,
ways. So I appreciate that.
When you get Josh and you get me saying, "Bro, it's legit okay," I believe that at that point you can say, "You know what? Yeah, okay." Y'all accept me because the thing is, we're not going to look at you any differently. Mind you, I am the same person that before I got married, my wife had to call y'all to figure out where I was. It don't get more embarrassing than that. Like, and the thing is, I think in your mind, you were thinking about something totally different, but I was trying to get you to see that you were sick.
Yeah.
You were legit messed up because you were sick.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been the food at park.
Yeah.
on that particular day. I don't want Park to sound like they're bad.
Yeah.
But it could have been
Great
something
establishment.
you
Great
ate that
establishment.
day that just didn't agree with your stomach, and you had to get it up out you. And mind you did take medicine earlier that day with no food.
Yeah. It was the day started out terribly, and it's a terrible idea. Terrible idea to take medicine with no food, and then eat.
I have a great video for you, by the way.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Yeah. So that was about one thing I would take away is I would not do is be in my head. I would more so live in the moment, not been in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make the moment. Make the moment. I think that's why I don't be caring about stuff sometimes. I just be like, it's gonna make for a good story.
Yeah, it made for a great story.
All right. Well, any other last thoughts around Broccoli City?
Not around Broccoli City, but just in general.
Oh, it's guys trips, okay?
Yeah, when you're on a guys trip, I believe it's very important to share locations with each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because you're in a new city or in a different city, and you just need to make sure each other are all right. You just never know what happened. So just make sure that you share locations.
Absolutely. Because you are in a brand new city. So much stuff is going on. People are everywhere. Even we were there was another fight that almost happened outside of Park one night looking for Ubers. And I don't know what happened between those gentlemen. You remember that, Chris? We were standing outside. No, you don't remember.
I remember that.
Unaware.
Yeah, but like
the dark skinned, the little younger dude,
and the light skinned dude, and the darker skinned guy. They would get one guy. They were getting into the Uber, and they would like all in each other's face. And they was the light skinned guy ran to the truck.
Yeah, he ain't want to.
And then when he got in the truck, was all out the window yelling and hollering. So we knew what those. But at the same time, like, what if one of us was somewhere else and a gunshot came off? Right, like anything can happen. Even when you're doing some of the most positive and non-drama-free things, people are people.
Yeah.
And you can't account for that variable. So would absolutely love to do it again. Appreciate the time. Can't wait till next year and see what that holds. And I feel like next year we'll have a Patreon set up. So we can give y'all, another version behind the paywall.
Yeah. Y'all gonna be buying those GoPro things and put them around your chest.
Yeah, something.
Get that fan perspective.
So, yeah, nice little vlog situation going on. But appreciate y'all. Love y'all brothers down.
Same.
Pockets of joy.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
You couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. You could never ever bring me down. Couldn't do it.
Our puzzle pieces, thank you for sticking around. This is the place and space in the episode where we talk about things we do. It's called Pockets of Joy. Things we do intentionally, the things we've done, we're currently doing, or plan on doing to bring us intentional joy. Josh, well, I'm going to do Chris first, and
sure,
you're, the guest on the podcast. What have you done? What are you doing? What are you planning on doing to bring you intentional joy?
Man, it's back to life, back to reality. So now it's grind time. Just want y'all to be in prayer for me because I'm looking to move into a business opportunity. So that's really actually my pocket of joy, just learning and enjoying the process of potentially becoming a business owner is everything to me right now. My kid, man, he's turning 3 in September. And just the last few days or the last couple of days being home, the way that he's changed in the week has been crazy. So like seeing him become like a big boy and him playing with a new family member that we have in our home. We have a new dog. So that's been fun.
Really? How you feel about the dog, Chris? How do you feel about the dog?
Indifferent. If we get a new one, or since we have a new one now, it's like, okay, cool. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't have any issues with the dog coming into the house. Ultimately, it was just like Kiana wanted a dog. She wanted a dog for Kari. Harlem is still here. So we just did it, and it's fine. It's cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy the dog. We're battling names. One day he's Kobe. The next day he's Coda. So I will say this. I don't like the training of a dog. And that's where we got the puppy. We got him at the stage where he needs to be trained. But it's all good.
What's up?
So those are my pockets of joy, my kid and my family growing, and also this potential business opportunity.
What's up, Josh?
Yeah, so my family and I'll be doing a little mini trip to Chicago. So our church is having a global weekend in Chicago. So we're going to fly up for that, and it just be a good time to get away. A little last, I would say, end of the summer hoorah, kind of unofficially for us. My boys have never been to Chicago, so while we won't be able to like really, really explore and do like all the things, it'll still be a good opportunity for them to do something. Because Jaden has found this particular interest in Chicago, and I think Brian, me and you have talked about it on the in the past before on the podcast. It's like, our kids don't really know no. So even though this was something that was last minute and kind of circumstantial, I'm fulfilling a void or a desire, so to speak, for them. So we'll be doing that and enjoying family time, but making sure that we have a lot of stuff locked and loaded. Over, like, we're going to do a lot of prep today and tomorrow because we don't get back to like 9 p.m. Sunday. And they got school, full school. And that's another pocket of joy. They go to school tomorrow.
Praise God.
Today, if you listen to today, as this podcast has been released, they go to school. And y'all know, as parents, y'all know, Chris and Bryan know y'all ain't fully invested in like the school. But they go to school. And these teachers can have these your kids. You have them back. You have them back.
Co-parenting again.
Woo, I love my kids, but my God, Jackie Rogers, listen, we right here, sis. You can have these kids back. But no, it is because my grocery bill went up over the summer. And I'm ready for things to level back out. But yeah, that's me. What about you, Brian?
I think it's fun. The same thing as pockets of joy as my family. When you go out of town for like a little bit and come back home and say, "Oh, we're here," right? Spending time with Brooke. It's Lauren's birthday this weekend, so happy birthday to her.
Hey.
Don't know what I'm going to do yet. She's actually going to be out of town, but we'll find some way to celebrate. That's really it. Just hang out with the family, do some things, kind of rest up. I'm like really exhausted because work travel, then personal travel, and I'm about to go on a whole nother season of business travel. I'm just going to probably try to rest and just not do as much work as I can.
Yeah, so he tired.
I am exhausted. I'm probably going to take a nap after we finish this podcast.
Yeah. Well, we gave y'all a bunch of stories in the podcast today, so we're going to fly right on over that listener letter. So thank you, Ryder Jenkins, for dropping off the mail. We'll check it next week. Let's get into a greater conversation.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let me talk. Let me talk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at a greater conversation. This is the place where we get some things off of our chest.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, every week. Tomorrow's not promised. Cut the people out today. Chris, is there something you need to get off your chest?
FDT by YG.
Oh,
You know the song.
yeah, we know.
Bump Donald Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. I ain't really got no conversation behind it. I just don't like them.
Josh.
I will say
sorry.
I am not digging. I'm really not feeling a lot of the conversation about Kamala. As far as on the other side, it's despicable to even talk about a human being like that, let alone a black woman. But it's also sad to say it's expected because of who they are. But I, on the flip side, I will give a shout out to a lot of the black men who have stood up for Kamala, who have said we're going to protect this queen. So shouts out to them. But FDT,
Yeah. Joshua?
Yeah, I do have a greater conversation. It's for another friend, actually. His name is Chancey Page. So remember when we were talking about planning the Broccoli City? Chance is one who also texted me early in the year. Said, y'all, I think I'm going to Broccoli City. Y'all going to Broccoli City? We had texted on the side and planned it, talking about he was going to do it. He said he might not come, but he was going to meet up. He might meet us one day because it's a quick drive down. And we were trying to work out some logistics so we could see our brother.
Did he come?
Chancey, no, you didn't see him. Chancey posts on the IG that he going to see Schoolboy Q.
Schoolboy Q. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Okay.
And so first of all, he posted that he was on a flight or a train or something. So I sent him the little eye, emoji. I said, where you going? Because I'm thinking he finna come to Broccoli City. I'm like, babe, I'm finna see my brother. I'm going to Schoolboy Q. I'm so sorry, Josh. Hope y'all have. Didn't want to ask me how was he having fun. Let me tell you, ask me how my trip was. You asked me how my trip was. You asked me will we have fun, what we do, and all these different kind of things. You were supposed to be there. We were supposed to be kicking it with each other, hanging out, laughing, having a good time. it's just expanding the vibes. But you want to go see Schoolboy Q. You want to meet Schoolboy Q. You want to listen to Collard Greens, whatever that song is that he got. So shout, I love Chancey, but no,
I wouldn't mind going to hear studio.
I don't mind him going to see Schoolboy Q. TDE, shout out TDE. I would have been mad.
I mind because I
would have been mad if he would have came to Baltimore and said. I thought you was going to say that. I thought you were going to say he came to Baltimore with that concert and then that
would be fun if he came to DC to see Fantasia.
And now if he would have did that, it would have been a different kind of read. It would have been a different kind of read because she was also in town, which is a very interesting choice for their promoters. But it was like it was a sold out crowd nonetheless because she caters so much different audience. So, but yeah, I don't have anything serious. I mean, to Chris's point, I think we're going to go real deep on some of the political stuff this cycle. So get ready, y'all. I ain't going to hold you. It's a very important news cycle, and I want us to be able to do our job to keep you as informed as possible because as we've seen, people have been talking about Kamala's record for years in one of the most inaccurate ways. So I think it is also a part of our responsibility to be just as loud about what she has done and what she plans and what she's actually planning to do, not what the media is saying she wants to do. More to come from me on that. Y'all know I ain't gonna bite my tongue. Bryan.
Amanda Seales.
Girl. She one of the ones. You're loud, but you have no evidence.
No evidence.
And I be trying to go soft on Amanda because I don't want to do that.
Because it's getting to a point where y'all just be saying stuff. Y'all be contrarians just to be contrarians.
What did my girl Scotty say? Just because you're contrarian does not mean you're intelligent. The fact that you oppose something does not mean that you're smart.
Right. And she's getting to the point where she dogged Kanye West. And she's almost on Kanye West level as far as just trying to say stuff just to get baits and click. And like, it's like, girl, I think we can tell, George Bush said, no child left behind. Niggas have been, it's bad because you can tell people don't understand research. People don't understand where they get the research from. People don't understand how to research information. So you're basing your information off of other folks who claim to be experts or whatever off a certain subject who probably didn't do no research. So you're basing all your information off of TikTok and off of Reels. And this is the worst time because I know people who literally go on social media and go on TikTok and learn information from folks who aren't scholarly, who haven't sat down in a class. I'm not discrediting folks who, have learned and studied who didn't go to get an education. But you're learning information from folks who are not scholarly, who haven't done any research, who are dogmatic, who are biased. You know what I'm saying? Like there is and I hate it in moments like this because we're in a society that doesn't understand nuance, right? We're so black and white. And we're so egregious on certain things that there's most people, in most cases, you should be in the middle. Should you hold certain people accountable for the records? Of course. But when you're just saying stuff, just to say stuff, and you're not understanding the voice that you do have and the damage that you can do, you're seeing it. And then you have people like D.L. Hughley right now who's coming back saying, like, I effed up in the past. I was loud and I was wrong.
And I appreciate that.
and I was basing a lot of my stuff off of other people. Right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, let's do better and not just say stuff without doing legitimate, unbiased research, right? And then saying, so you don't have to come back and say, well, I was wrong. Because what's going to happen is they're going to take all this stuff, even DL, I'm glad you apologize. They're going to take the clips from you back being loud and wrong before, and they're going to use it now. Yeah. So it's really, at this point, it's being responsible in our voices, in our platforms, and even us, like even on this podcast, like we ain't influencers, right? But we influence people. People listen to this podcast. Think Josh was in the airport and somebody said, "Hey, your podcast got me through the pandemic." A person he doesn't even know, right? So being responsible to our platforms, right? And also being understanding that we live in a free speech society, but you aren't the consequences of your free speech. There are consequences. So be mindful of what you're saying, how you're saying it, when you're saying it, the accuracy of what you're saying, because people are listening. People are gonna come back, and it's important. Your voice is important. Everybody's a voice. And the thing that sucks is I hate social media because it gives everybody a voice, and everybody doesn't need one. Everybody doesn't need one.
I just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
can we tiptoe back to Amanda Seales for just half a second? I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go on a deep rant about this, but I think what's so disappointing about Amanda is that she's deeply intelligent.
Yes.
So the fact that she is like the clip, I don't know if did I send it to you, Bryan, on TikTok? There's a clip she said, I need my politicians to do action and not just words. And the influencer like did a what's the thing when
he showed all the
a split, whatever it is, but he showed all the bills just from 2019 to 2020
with her name on
with her name as a sponsor of bills that over proportionally impacted positively Black and brown communities.
And let's go back. And targeted, like
that's what I'm saying. In an abundance of proportion, positively impacted and targeted. Thank you for that additional word, Black and brown community. And that was he just showed the 2019, 2020. Then he got to a point where he started filled the screen with stuff, and it was probably stuff from all in her past. And then we got to go back to when we just since we here when we talk about people talking about her the criminal arrest rate, like thousands of people were locked up. But the ones that was actually prosecuted by her were in the 40s. People who actually went to jail were actually 40 or 50, right? Because of those low-level crimes against weed. And she had the first back on track program in the country, a model that the Baltimore or the Maryland AG adopted from Kamala, right? So we got to be very careful with even if you're unaware of the deep work that she's done, stuff like what Amanda Seales says is so inaccurate because she's proven to do, even as a vice president, when people make the jokes about where she's at, she has been the face of Black maternal mortality rates and making sure that decreasing that they have representation in the health industry. Kamala has done, every politician has area of critique. So she's not going to be void of that, but we can't get on these stages and say she does nothing. All she do is laugh and blah 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 blah. Like she's full of joy. She's a Black woman, right? She ain't had no kids. Okay, to be able to be a little bit of a woman is here. Like there's been no other president that's given birth to children either. So what's your point? Right? If we're gonna keep it that literal, what's your point? And Donald Trump got kids by multiple. Like he's an infidel, right? He got kids he got to get all over the place. So like these moral lineups that they're trying to bring against Kamala, really, I know they're loud, but they don't make sense if we sit with them, right? Her inability to birth children does not at all impede upon her ability to run this nation.
Exactly.
And that's it's just sad that is something that we would even halfway consider as a value marker for her being able to be an effective president of the United States. So not only is my strategy and my support, but from a spiritual side, my prayers are with Kamala, because I can only imagine at night when she's talking to Doug, and is venting about everything that's going on. Like, cause you got to see that stuff still, and then get out there and be strong, go to these rallies and give speeches to inspire people. So
her husband, who is a Jew, by the way,
who's also a Jew, right? And that's, if anything, in my critique, my biggest critique is how she's handling the Israel-Gaza situation. I don't think she's as ceasefire, a proponent of the ceasefire as strongly as she could be and should be. Because I ain't gonna get into that. I'm like, well, let me say this: what the Israeli nation is doing to the people of Gaza is absolutely inhumane, and there's no excuse. And this is not anti-Semitic. I don't want Jewish people to die or anything like that. But what is happening is absolutely inhumane. There's no way to justify the bombing of schools and hospitals and just randomly killing children and polluting water and all those stuff that's happening. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. And I don't think, and I would love to see Kamala take a harder stance on it. Like I can still support and love my Jewish brothers and sisters and non-binary folks, and still critique what the Israeli nation is doing as complete genocide. That's what's happening. We got to call it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just hate this time of season.
Yeah,
I hate Christians. I hate everybody during this time, because
don't be that tripped. You said you hate Christians. You about to be viral next.
I'm fine with that, because Western Christianity is like the worst. Like it's because they be the loudest folks. It's the hypocrisy of it all. It's like
that's what get me. It's always the hypocrisy.
It's the hypocrisy of it all. It's like we can. God is with this man, but we're gonna. The man literally said, "I'm not a Christian." God is. It's the when we get in election season, people just put everything to the side, and it's just the hypocrisy of it all. Like, and And I hate because there's people like us who we're gonna hold people accountable and understand nuance, but there are some people who are just like, it is what it is. And I'll be like, this is the country we live in. The country we live in.
Okay.
Yeah. We got kids, y'all. We got kids.
We got kids.
We got kids.
This is for white people.
This is white people.
Well, all right. Well, with that being said, understood and accepted, this has been another episode of the Jigsaw Podcast. Super glad, Chris, you were able to join us on the mic and not behind them. So you got from behind that piano, John Legend, today, and we sure appreciate you doing that.
My pleasure.
So yeah, Bryan, Chris. Before I throw it over to Bryan, Chris, let the people know how they can connect with you. Anything you got going on that the people can support.
I'm on IG at Real Chris Moore. Twitter, Chris D_Moore. Yeah, you can Google me.
Google him.
Google him.
All right. Well, that's all I got, Bryan.
That's pretty much it. We, as I say every week, continue to support. So you can subscribe, follow us in the Jigsaw Podcast. Follow I am Josh Rogers. Follow I am Bryan Hare. Like, subscribe. We're on every podcast platform you can think of. 5 stars and nothing at all. Leave our comments. Let us know how great we are. We are great without you, but we're greater with you. Before we head out the door, Josh, let the people know what they need to do.
All you can do is what you can, while you can, in the very best ways that you can. But in all you're doing, please know the difference between a good idea and a bad idea. Love y'all. See y'all next week.